The FBI discovered a tunnel this morning that the rapper had made in his home, connected to the basement of a former Michael Jackson home.
There is an underground mansion.
The officers found strange items on the floor, such as children's clothing.
Actually terrifying to know that this exists.
They just uncovered tunnels underneath his house.
Diddy's?
Yes.
Is that true?
Yes.
Breaking news. Diddy was reportedly rushed out of prison and taken to a hospital in the dead of night after an injury, but whispers are already flying that this might not be a simple medical emergency. Just 3 days ago, a purported leaked audio surfaced that allegedly captured Diddy planning an escape, and now this sudden, secretive transfer has people asking whether the timing was more than coincidence. Was it an urgent health issue or a calculated move to cover something bigger? The timeline and the leaks have turned this into the kind of story everyone wants answers to.
Sean Diddy Combs reportedly underwent treatment in a hospital as he continues to await trial on sex trafficking charges. According to Page 6, the 55-year-old was transported from Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn, the federal prison where he was sent following his September arrest, late January 30th to undergo an MRI and was then soon returned to police custody later that night. The outlet cites a source as saying that the medical scan was authorized because his knee was bothering him. E! News has reached out to reps for Diddy and the Federal Bureau of Prisons for comment and has not heard back. The Grammy winner's attorney, Mark Agnafilo, tells TMZ, quote, "I cannot comment on anything related to prisoner movements. Also, I'm not commenting on anything related to possible medical issues." Diddy had shared in a since-deleted Instagram post in 2017 that he had undergone his third knee surgery in a year. The Federal Bureau of Prisons has neither confirmed nor denied the reports about Diddy's hospital visit. A spokesperson for the government agency tells the New York Post, quote, "For privacy, safety, and security reasons, we do not comment on the conditions of confinement for anyone in our custody to include medical status or medical trips." The hospital visit allegedly took place hours after federal prosecutors filed a new criminal indictment against the rap mogul, accusing him of coercing 2 additional women into commercial sex acts. No additional charges are included in the new filing, as the original September indictment had referenced 1 female victim. His lawyer has accused the prosecutors of making a major error in the new indictment. In a statement to E! News January 30th, he says, quote, "The prosecution's theory remains flawed. The government has added the ridiculous theory that 2 of Mr. Combs' former girlfriends were not girlfriends at all, but were prostitutes." Diddy has denied all of the charges against him, and his trial is set to begin May 5th.
The FBI found a tunnel this morning at the mansion of famous rapper Diddy in Los Angeles, Part 2. After receiving an anonymous tip from neighbors, agents rushed to the scene. During their search, they uncovered a tunnel beneath the carpet in Diddy's bedroom. Despite the family's pleas not to enter, the officers hesitated but ultimately decided to go in. The tunnel looked freshly dug, with wet dirt on the walls and trash scattered around. As they ventured deeper, the narrow space suddenly opened up to reveal 6 locked rooms. The agents couldn't access these rooms, and even more bizarrely, they found multiple intersections ahead in the tunnel. For safety, the agents called for backup and split up to investigate further. What they discovered was shocking. A tunnel connecting to the infamous Playboy Mansion, along with others leading to several Hollywood celebrities' homes. As the agents delved deeper, they quickly surrounded these residences.
Guys, they found underground tunnels at Diddy's homes. This was first brought up by Shadow of Ezra, where he talked about the underground tunnels in Diddy's luxurious Los Angeles mansion. It was an underwater swimming tunnel leading to a mysterious grotto, reminiscent of an ancient and modern human use of caves. Now, this is all alleged, of course, but they say that this tunnel connects to the Playboy Mansion. You guys remember that? Hugh Hefner, the guy who lived with all those women in his mansion? There's no available evidence right now. However, reports are noting that Combs' mansions do have a pool with an underwater swimming tunnel. They say it's not connected to the Playboy Mansion, but there is a reason why the Playboy Mansion keeps coming up. 10 years ago, they were building underground tunnels to the Playboy Mansion for people like Jack Nicholson for his birthday. So this way, they don't have to go through the outside, but go underground in secret to the Playboy Mansion to do God knows what. You can see the sketches here of these underground tunnels being built. They were working on it, and it was supposed to connect celebrities like Jack Nicholson, Warren Beatty, Michael Jackson, just to name a few. As reported by People magazine, these underground tunnels to the Playboy Mansion were sealed off in the 1980s. The question is, do you believe that? Stay safe and be smart.
Deputy Warden Dr. Dwayne Hendricks from the Metropolitan Detention Center is reportedly raising eyebrows over how this all went down. He said that in his decades on the job, he's never seen an inmate handled with this level of special treatment. Even prisoners with huge profiles, think Jeffrey Epstein, didn't get this kind of overnight access or authority. Medical procedures are almost always scheduled during the day for security reasons, but in Diddy's case, everything unfolded quietly under the cover of darkness, making the situation look even more unusual.
Indictment was filed on January 30th. Coincidentally, according to the New York Post, that's the same day P. Diddy was taken to a Brooklyn hospital from MDC. MDC is the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn. It's where Diddy's been held since his arrest back in September. His team has tried multiple times for bail, but it's always been denied. So that's where Diddy has been for months now, but last week he was taken to the hospital. According to reports from the New York Post, Diddy was transported from MDC in the cover of darkness at about 10 p.m. on January 30th. He was taken to a Brooklyn hospital for an MRI after reporting issues with his knee. This actually isn't the first time we've heard about Diddy's knee either. He's apparently had problems with it since 2003 when he ran the New York Marathon. He even had multiple knee surgeries back in 2017. In a now deleted Instagram post, Diddy shared this photo and wrote, quote, "Just had my final knee surgery. They said I'd never run again. I said the devil is a liar, 2 exclamation points. 3 surgeries in 1 year. 3rd time's a charm, 3 exclamation points. Hashtag rebirth. Don't take the simple things in life for granted. Thank you to all the surgeons and docs and PTs. I thank God for y'all. And hashtag team love, hashtag thank you, hashtag God is the greatest." He also wrote, quote, "God puts us all through things for a reason. It's up to us to learn through the things that he puts us through. Sometimes you have to go through the pain to get to the joy. This journey has brought me closer to God, closer to my family, and most importantly, closer to myself, as this has been God's will." So apparently Diddy's knee has been bothering him recently, so he reported it. At some point, it was decided that he needed medical care outside of the jail, so he was taken to a Brooklyn hospital. He was only gone for a couple of hours and came straight back to MDC after his MRI was finished. Diddy's attorney Mark Agnifilo told TMZ, quote, "I cannot comment on anything related to prisoner movements. Also, I'm not commenting on anything related to possible medical issues." A statement from the Federal Bureau of Prisons was released too. It says, quote, "For privacy, safety, and security reasons, we do not comment on the conditions of confinement for anyone in our custody, to include medical status or medical trips."
D-Rock involvement and what he used to do. But the thing that was so crazy about it is that she said that Puff used to rip her repeatedly, damn near anytime he wanted to, all the time. Like several times she was ripped by him. It seemed like she had the jury crying. She was ripped by Puff, bruh. Now, what I know that in some states, they do just like they do murder. In New York City, because in the States, you gotta realize, the time that you could be charged with rape in most states is from 3 to 30 years. But there are 13 states that do the rape case just like it's murder. That there's no time limit on when you say, or you come out and say somebody raped you. You understand what I'm saying? And New York State is one of them. So I was wondering, did she ever get raped in New York? Because if she did by Puff, the state could bring up that charges against them.
Why are officers suddenly bending the rules when it comes to Diddy? Right now, he's in pretrial detention under the custody of the U.S. Marshals, and he's been trying for months to secure his release, reportedly even putting $50 million on the table for bail, with no success. Now, with this late-night hospital transfer, speculation is growing that Diddy could be using a medical angle to work his way out of prison or at least gain leverage over his situation.
This particular process was a little bit different because, as you know, most doctors' offices and most folks that do MRIs and x-rays and things of that nature, they're on a normal work schedule, between, the normal business hours of maybe 10 o'clock and maybe 6 p.m. So in that case, this was a little bit different, getting him outside the facility in the late evening hours to do just, possibly a basic MRI.
Yeah, I was thinking about the timeline too, because I don't ever recall going to the doctor at 10 p.m. at night. As you said, it's usually 9 to 5, 10 to 6 kind of vibes. But for P. Diddy, I can kind of understand why it was at 10 p.m. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm thinking they decided to do this because he's such a high profile name that they wouldn't want to draw attention to it. I mean, this is an unassuming Thursday night around 10 p.m. Could that be why they decided then to go to the hospital?
Yes, and also, for a couple of reasons, staff, many correctional agencies are short-staffed, so you're taking someone out with this high-profile person such as P. Diddy. Just the nature of who he is going to cause a serious security concern, because you're going to need to be able to stave off, onlookers, fans, media, and the like. And then you also got to think about the security of the hospital and their operations. People there to try to get better. You have families there to visit their loved ones. And the last thing you need is somewhat, a chaotic environment that's causing concern with security. And also, most people don't know this, but he's actually under the primary custody. He's a what we call a U.S. Marshals inmate, because he's on pretrial status. So the Bureau, the agency, the Bureau of Prisons, oversees, the operations with overseeing the inmates on a day-to-day basis. However, when they're in the hospital for an extended period of time, if there's no deal worked out between the local institution and the local marshal's office, it would be the marshal's responsibility to take custody of that particular inmate. And and if he does have issues with his legs, is he walking with a limp? Does he have does he have a cane or anything like that? So yeah, I think that would be the reason why that they would make this, take this measure, which I have never seen in my career. Someone taken out to the hospital at this time of night for something as basic as an MRI.
Some breaking news. This is involving the Sean Combs trial. Senior national correspondent Laura Ingle is standing by with legal analyst Misty Maris. And Laura, you are learning Combs could potentially be removed from his trial and not allowed in the courtroom. What can you tell us?
That's right, Nicole. This has just happened in the last few minutes, and this would be a huge development if he is removed for the rest of the trial. And what has happened here, as we are going through the cross-examination of one of Cassie Ventura's friends, who we've been telling you about, Brianna, who has been on the stand, Sean Combs has been, according to the judge, vigorously nodding during some of this cross, engaging with jurors, or at least appearing that he's trying to, looking at jurors. That is not allowed. And as you mentioned, legal analyst Misty Maris is here. I'm just going to scoot her in. This is breaking news, so we're just bringing her right in because we're here at the courthouse together. You just came over to tell me what the judge said. Explain to us what this means.
Yeah, so this was huge because what the judge admonished the defense team, saying that Combs had been engaging with the jury, meaning that he's making direct eye contact with the jury and having a reaction, nodding his head. The judge said this is jury interference. It's to influence the jury, and actually referenced that the defense was warned not only today during Bongolin's testimony, but also had been warned previously during the testimony of George Kaplan. So this feeds into a federal rule which relates to disruptive conduct by the defendant in the courtroom. And the rule says that if somebody is warned by the judge, if the defendant is warned, but the conduct continues, one of the consequences could be removal from the courtroom for the remainder of the trial. And Laura, that is of huge consequence to the defense.
Yeah, and all along we've been seeing Sean Combs, passing notes, and that's allowed with his defense. He's been very active. He's been paying attention, and we have heard of him nodding along during some of the testimony, but this is something different.
Correct. So engagement with your attorneys, passing notes during testimony, even being a bit reactive to witness testimony, looking at the witness and perhaps having a reaction and looking engaged, all fine. It's when it comes down to engagement with jurors and something that could tend to influence them in some way. And what the court looks at is their influence or intimidation. Is that what the defendant is doing, and could it have that impact? So here the judge was taking a very strong stance. And keep in mind, from the defense perspective, that would be the most severe consequence, removal from the courtroom, because every defendant has the right to face their accusers.
The timing of all this is raising serious questions. Just weeks ago, Diddy was allegedly caught on tape hinting that he had a final ace up his sleeve to get out of prison. Right after his bail was denied last month, he reportedly began voicing medical complaints, first by starving himself, then by claiming mental health struggles and depression. Now, with this sudden midnight hospital transfer, people are wondering, was Diddy truly facing a health crisis, or was this a calculated move to secure his release?
Diddy Juror 6 gave multiple inconsistent statements. The judge was going over his issues with juror number 6, and although he did not make a final determination, his thoughts on juror number 6 being removed were pretty clear. He stated that in the initial process, juror number 6 said that he lived in the Bronx with his fiance and his daughter. Then he turned around a while later and said that he moved to New Jersey with his girlfriend, and also said that his daughter lived in New Jersey. But then it changed again and said that his daughter lived in the Bronx with his aunt. And he referenced that this was only a couple of the inconsistent statements, that there were more. The judge then stated that he wants this juror off the jury because there is no reason why this man would have to lie, and the only reason he would lie is to be a part of the Diddy trial, which made him worry that this juror might have a malicious intent or an agenda. But then after the judge said that we need to strike this juror off of the jury, Diddy's team started bringing up more arguments about this. Diddy's lawyer said that this juror is important because they need diversity, and he is only one of 4 black men that sit on the jury. He also said that he doesn't believe that these inconsistencies were that big of a deal where this juror would have to be removed. Diddy's team was arguing that this is something that should have been brought up weeks ago, and nobody brought this up, and the government is saying, listen, I didn't even know about this back then. Then Diddy's lawyer said something really, really weird. They said, just bring this juror in, just question him. I'm sure it's nothing. I'm sure he'll be able to explain. But this is what the government wanted the judge to do earlier, and Diddy's lawyer said, no. That would be harassing the juror. Then the judge told everybody to get out of the courtroom, that they needed to have a sealed talk.
Rumors are swirling that Diddy may have tried to influence people close to the case, even his own son, to protect him, though nothing has been proven. These whispers are fueling the theory that Diddy's midnight hospital trip is part of a bigger strategy.
Sean Diddy Combs' team is once again asking a judge to declare a mistrial in his sex trafficking and racketeering case. Defense attorneys claim prosecutors presented false evidence alleging Combs dangled a woman from a balcony in Los Angeles in 2016, saying that they can prove he was in New York City at the time. Let's bring in ABC News legal contributor Bernarda Villalona to break this all down. Thanks so much for being with us. Diddy's team claims that the woman committed perjury on the witness stand, and that's why they're asking for a mistrial. What do you make of this move?
Yeah, so I was in the courtroom when this witness was testifying, and when the defense attorney, Ms. Westmoreland, confronted this witness with the travel arrangements where Sean Combs was in a different state when she alleged that she was dangled over this balcony. So in terms of what the defense is trying to do, they're trying to prevent a miscarriage of justice. They are asking the judge to step in and not to wait and see what a jury would do, because now they've shown a pattern of prosecutorial misconduct by this prosecutor. Number one, with the insinuation that Sean Combs has something to do with paying off LAPD to get rid of evidence, and now with condoning this perjured testimony. So yes, they're asking for the judge to step in now and make a decision, and not to wait to see what a jury would do. Also to remember that they're doing this now because they are doing 2 things. They're also trying the case in front of a jury, but if there is a conviction, they want to make sure that they have brought this issue up before this judge, so that way an appellate court can review this decision.
Okay, thank you for explaining that context there. And prosecutors, they are expected to respond to the mistrial request before court resumes tomorrow. What do you anticipate will happen?
So on this specific issue, I think the judge is going to deny the defense's request for a mistrial. The reason being because they're dealing with something having to deal with the credibility of a witness. The jury is the finder of fact. They are the ones that determine the credibility of witnesses. So that being the case, the judge is going to say that it's up to the jury to determine the witness's credibility, that being of Cassie Ventura and also of this witness that supposedly gave perjured testimony. So they're going to leave it. The judge is going to let the jury to decide and going to deny the defense's request.
Sean Combs, aka Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, Diddy, PD, Love, the defendant, and others, known and unknown, were members and associates of a criminal organization, the Combs Enterprise, or the Enterprise. Members and associates of the Combs Enterprise engaged in and attempted to engage in, among other activities, sex trafficking, forced labor, interstate transportation for purposes of prostitution, coercion and enticement to engage in prostitution, narcotics offenses, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and obstruction of justice. This new indictment also ups the number of victims. At first, only one victim was listed in the indictment, which some believe is Diddy's ex-girlfriend and the first person to file civil suit against him, Cassandra Ventura. An updated portion of the superseding indictment reads, quote, Combs and other members and associates of the Combs Enterprise wielded the power and prestige of Combs's role at the Combs business to intimidate, threaten, and lure female victims into Combs's orbit, often under the pretense of a romantic relationship. Combs then used force, threats of force, and coercion to cause victims, including but not limited to 3 female victims, victim 1, victim 2, and victim 3, to engage in commercial sex acts.
Alright, good. So tell me, what's been going on? How the girls doing? How's Quincy doing? They good. Quincy, he been filming a lot. Hey, yo, don't tell me that he's out here filming for that vlog show, what the fuck it's called. Yeah, I guess so. He do got us in it too. Yo, are y'all motherfuckers stupid? Y'all understand the definition of lay low? This nigga got a fucking TV show while I'm dealing with this shit. Y'all need to just stay out the fucking press. No cameras, no nothing. Don't entertain nothing. Don't take pictures. Don't sign autographs. Just stay in the fucking house. Not me though, Pop. I do be in the crib. Everybody else just be on different shit. Don't nobody want to listen to what I gotta say. But it's all good. I got motherfuckers cutting deals left and right trying to take me down. Nah, Pop. Everything gonna be alright. We gonna get you out. Oh, I know. Cause I got one more trick up my sleeve. And this one is gonna put everybody back in their seat. I can't wait to see the look on everybody's faces when this shit happens. Well, what you mean though, Pop? Don't even worry about it. Just do me a favor and vote for Harris. Alright. And don't be surprised when all my so-called friends do exactly that. Alright, now, did you complete everything that's on the letter? Yeah, I got the pig pen, Pop. I did it. Are you stupid? I gotta go. I'll call you back.
Some people online are pointing out how just weeks before his arrest, Diddy was honored with the key to the city by New York's mayor, despite reports that an investigation was already underway. That timing has fueled speculation that the story could go deeper than anyone expected, but nothing official supports that idea.